The book I'd like to present today is called The Other Side of the Coin by Angela Kelly, The Queen, the Dresser, and the Wardrobe. This is an enchanting story about the Queen's first dresser. Angela Kelly, who started as a single mom, having a very modest job, met the Queen. Soon after, she became the assistant dresser. And when the head dresser, the senior dresser, retired, she stepped up to that position and was in that position for about 25 years. Eventually, Angela became the Queen's personal advisor, curator, and in-house designer, designing the Queen's wardrobe. She had a whole staff of people, and they worked at Buckingham Palace, and she even had a second designer because her work was so extensive. I loved this book. It was an absolute joy to read, and it had the Queen's blessing. Angela was very close to the Queen. They became very personal friends over the years. One of Angela's jobs was actually to keep an eye on the Queen's health and to report to the doctors and staff that would look after her health. Being as close as she was to the Queen, she would see things that other people might not see. She traveled with the Queen. She was responsible for packing and unpacking the wardrobe. She had extensive notebooks. She started with a secret notebook and later had a very official notebook. Many times the Queen would go to an affair in a different country, and Angela would research different aspects of the country, perhaps Canada with a maple leaf, and then they would use the theme of the maple leaf in the clothes that the Queen wore. She also had to know a lot about the Queen's jewelry, keeping track of that. Many of her crowns, many of the garments that she designed were designed around the jewelry or crowns. She helped the Queen dress as the senior dresser, and among her staff there was a milliner. She helped design the hats and worked with the milliner with the designs. When she first started the job, the royal household had been male-dominated for many generations. And she was actually told that only after 12 years as a staff member would she be allowed to have an opinion. This did not sit well with her. And eventually she became known as the Queen's Gatekeeper, or AK-47. Queen Elizabeth accepted more than 300 engagements every year. And that meant that sometimes she would change her clothing for an outing, for an event, 5 times in a day. Angela was responsible for making sure all of the clothes were kept well, kept in the right place, and ready for the Queen to wear. Sometimes she would have 2 exact garments. So if there was a problem with one, there would be a backup. She also had to check for spots, stains, things like that. I learned so much about the history of this position, different things that the Queen wears that belonged to her grandmother, Queen Victoria, different things that would happen in the palace. Because of the sensitivity of her job, she is very ethical in her writing. And we don't learn all of the behind the scenes, but we learn a lot. It's so much fun. Angela traveled extensively with the Queen and stayed at the different palaces. She traveled on the royal yacht, she traveled on the royal train, and any royal flights. This is a fascinating story. Skills like sewing are becoming more and more rare. So if you sew for yourself, your family, your friends, or others, this book will be very inspirational. The Queen gave her blessing for this book, and Angela did a brilliant job of writing it. It has so many pictures. I hope you've enjoyed this. I do have other book reviews coming, so let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you've read it, or if you read it, what you think of it. Happy reading and happy sewing. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.